Imagine sleeping in a tent, but it's not for camping. This is your permanent home, and tonight, the temperature is going to drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius. To stay alive, you have to keep a fire going, not with wood, but with dried animal poop. This isn't a survival movie scene, this is everyday life for hundreds of thousands of people in Mongolia. I flew to the other side of the planet to see if this was real, and what I found was more insane than I could have ever imagined. This country is home to some of the most extreme traditions on Earth. We're talking about toddlers who are expert horse riders before they can even form full sentences. People who believe shamans can literally speak to the spirits of nature, and a place where 1 in every 200 men on the planet might be a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. It's a land of unbelievable extremes and ancient secrets. What you're about to see is a journey into a world that feels like it shouldn't exist in the 21st century. I'm going to show you how people not only survive but thrive in these brutal conditions. But that's only the beginning. What lies ahead is even more unbelievable. Every single fact about this place is more shocking than the last. So, let's get into it. This is Mongolia. Okay, first thing you need to understand is that for a massive part of the population, home isn't a house or an apartment. It's one of these, a ger. It's a circular tent made of wood, felt, and canvas, and over 800,000 people, that's more than the entire population of Seattle, live in them year-round. That might sound cozy, but then you realize Mongolian winters hit minus 40 degrees Celsius. That's so cold your eyelashes can freeze shut. To survive, they have a small stove in the center, constantly fed with coal or, as we'll see later, dried animal dung. There's no central heating, no insulation like you know it, just a fire between you and freezing to death. But here's the crazy part. They wouldn't have it any other way. For them, the gr isn't a sign of poverty. It's a symbol of their nomadic heritage and a source of incredible pride. It represents freedom and a connection to their ancestors that goes back thousands of years. They can pack up their entire home in just a few hours and move across the vast plains, following their herds. It's a lifestyle that's almost completely disappeared from the rest of the world, but here, it's the heart of their culture. Imagine packing up your house every few months. It's wild. If you think living in a tent in the freezing cold is intense, wait until you hear about their kids. In Mongolia, children learn to ride horses almost as soon as they learn to walk. I'm not exaggerating. By the age of 2, they are put on horseback. By 3, they're comfortable riders, often without a saddle, just gripping the horse's mane. By 5 years old, they are competing in one of the most dangerous and prestigious events in the country, long-distance horse racing. This isn't a pony ride at a local fair, this is serious business. These races are part of the Naadam Festival, which is basically the Mongolian Olympics. The kids, some as young as 5, race horses across the open steppe for distances up to 30 kilometers. It's seen as a test of courage, skill, and endurance both for the child and the horse. To us, it sounds unbelievably dangerous, and it is. But for Mongolians, it's a rite of passage. It teaches them independence and a deep, almost spiritual connection with their horses, which are central to their entire way of life. It's a level of trust and skill that is just mind-blowing to witness. In a world dominated by science and technology, Mongolia is a place where ancient spiritual beliefs are still a huge part of daily life. I'm talking about shamanism. Here, many people believe that shamans are real-life mediators who can communicate with the spirits of the natural world. They believe that mountains, rivers, and even the sky have souls or spirits, and shamans are the ones who keep the balance between the human and spirit worlds. When someone is sick, or a family is having bad luck, they don't just go to a doctor. They might also visit a shaman. These shamans perform incredible rituals, often involving rhythmic drumming, chanting, and dancing until they enter a trance-like state. In this state, they believe their soul travels to the spirit world to find answers or ask for blessings. They wear elaborate costumes with feathers, mirrors, and metal objects, all designed to protect them on their spiritual journey. It's not a performance for tourists. It's a deeply ingrained belief system that has survived centuries of change, including suppression by the Soviets. It's a raw, powerful connection to nature that we've almost completely lost. Alright, let's talk about something you probably never thought would be essential for survival poop. Specifically, dried animal dung or argol. In the vast, treeless plains of Mongolia, wood is incredibly scarce. So, for centuries, nomads have relied on the one resource they have in abundance, the droppings from their livestock, cows, yaks, and sheep. During the summer, families collect massive piles of this dung, mix it with a bit of water, shape it into bricks, and leave it to dry in the sun. It becomes as hard as a rock and honestly completely odorless. These dung bricks are literally life-saving fuel. They are stacked high inside and outside the gers, ready for the brutal winter. This is what they burn in their stoves to cook their food, and most importantly, to heat their homes when it's minus 40 degrees Celsius outside. Without argal, survival on the steppe would be impossible. It's the ultimate example of using every single resource available. It might seem strange or even gross to us, but here, it's the smell of warmth, food, and family. It's the smell of life. You've all heard of Genghis Khan, the legendary warrior who created the largest contiguous empire in history. But what if I told you his legacy isn't just in the history books? It's in the DNA of millions of people alive today. A groundbreaking genetic study in 2003 discovered that a specific Y chromosome lineage is found in a shocking number of men across Asia. The study traced this lineage back to a single ancestor who lived in Mongolia about 1,000 years ago. And all signs point to Genghis Khan himself. The numbers are staggering. About 8% of men in a huge region of Asia stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea carry this chromosome. That translates to roughly 16 million men, or 0.5% of the entire world's male population. The theory is that Khan and his male relatives had so many children and their sons continued this pattern, that his genetic signature spread like wildfire through the vast empire. It's the most successful lineage ever discovered. So there's a literal, non-zero chance that the guy sitting next to you could be a direct descendant of the great Khan. Welcome to Ulaanbaatar, a city of insane contradictions. First, it holds the record for being the coldest national capital on the planet. The average annual temperature is below freezing, and in January, it plummets to an average of minus 24 degrees Celsius, with lows hitting minus 40 degrees regularly. It's a level of cold that is hard to even comprehend. The city is literally frozen solid for half the year. But the cold isn't the only extreme thing about this city. It's also home to some of the worst air pollution in the world. The problem is that a huge portion of the city's population lives in the gers districts on the outskirts, which are basically sprawling slums of traditional tents. With no central heating, every single one of these households burns a coal stove all winter long just to survive. The smoke from hundreds of thousands of these stoves, combined with old power plants and traffic, gets trapped by the cold, heavy air in the valley where the city sits. This creates a thick, toxic smog that chokes the city, making it a serious health crisis every single winter. It's a brutal paradox. The very thing people need to survive the cold is also poisoning them. Now listen to this. What you're hearing is one person singing 2 or even 3 distinct notes at the same time. This is kume, or Mongolian throat singing, and it's honestly one of the most unique and mesmerizing vocal techniques on earth. It's not a trick. Singers learn to manipulate the resonances created in their throat, mouth, and nasal cavity to produce a low, fundamental drone and a high, flute-like overtone simultaneously. It sounds, well, completely otherworldly, like something from another planet. But this isn't just a cool party trick. It's actually a deeply spiritual art form. Traditionally, throat singers, who were often herders, would use it to imitate the sounds of nature, the wind whistling across the steppes, the gurgling of a stream, or the calls of animals. It was a way of connecting with the world around them and communicating with the spirits of nature they believed in. It takes years of intense practice to master, and it's recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It's a living piece of ancient history you can hear with your own ears. When you think of camels, you probably picture the single-humped dromedaries of the Sahara Desert. But Mongolia is home to their tougher, shaggier cousins, the two-humped Bactrian camel. While many are domesticated and used by nomads for transport, there's an even more incredible population out there. Deep in the Gobi Desert, on the border of Mongolia and China, lives the last truly wild population of Bactrian camels on Earth. These aren't just feral camels. They are a distinct species, genetically different from their domesticated relatives. These wild camels are masters of survival, living in one of the most hostile environments imaginable. They can withstand extreme temperatures, from scorching desert heat to freezing winters. And here's the craziest part. They can drink saltwater slush, something that would kill almost any other mammal. There are fewer than 1,000 of these incredible animals left in the wild, making them critically endangered, even rarer than giant pandas. Seeing one of these ancient creatures roaming free in the vast emptiness of the Gobi is like seeing a living fossil. Every summer, the entire country of Mongolia explodes in a celebration of strength, skill, and tradition called the Naadam Festival. It's often called the Three Manly Games, but it's way more than that. It's like their version of the Olympics, but 1,000 times more raw and authentic. The three main events are wrestling, archery, and horse racing. Mongolian wrestling is an incredible sight. Huge, powerful men in traditional costumes perform a crane dance before grappling in a single elimination tournament where the winner is a national hero. The archery is also unique, with archers using traditional bows to hit tiny targets from a great distance. But the most mind-blowing event, as we talked about, is the horse racing. It's not about short sprints, it's about endurance. And the jockeys are children aged 5 to 12 who race for miles across the unforgiving steppe. The entire festival is a massive, colorful, chaotic, and incredibly proud display of their nomadic heritage. It's a direct link to the days of Genghis Khan, and it's the most important event of the year for every Mongolian. So you have this picture of a completely ancient traditional lifestyle, nomads living in gers, herding animals, and disconnected from the modern world. But here is the final, shocking twist. While they live off-grid, they are not off-tech. Drive across the steppe and you'll see something bizarre next to the traditional gers, solar panels. And next to the solar panel you might see a satellite dish. The nomads have brilliantly blended the ancient with the ultra-modern to make their tough lives just a little bit easier. Inside a ger that looks thousands of years old on the outside, you'll find a family watching television, charging their cell phones, or using an electric light bulb, all powered by the sun. This allows them to stay connected to the outside world, get news and entertainment, and call relatives or a vet if an animal is sick, all without giving up their nomadic freedom. It's the perfect fusion of two worlds. They hold on to the traditions that define them while cherry-picking the modern technologies that help them survive and thrive. It's not about rejecting the past, it's about carrying it into the future. After everything I've seen, it's clear that Mongolia isn't just a country. It's a parallel world, a place where human survival, culture, and spirit remain untouched by modern chaos. People here have a toughness and a connection to their land that we in the developed world can barely comprehend. They face challenges every single day that would break most of us, yet they do it with pride and a deep sense of identity. From the freezing gers to the child jockeys, it's a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit. This journey has completely changed my perspective on what it means to be advanced or modern. Is it having the latest smartphone, or is it having the skills to survive in -40 degrees Celsius with nothing but a tent and a fire? So now I ask you, could you live in a tent in -40 degrees? Could you let your child race horses across open plains without a saddle? Would you trade your comfortable life for this kind of freedom and connection? I honestly don't know if I could. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you love discovering shocking truths about forgotten corners of the world, and trust me, there are so many more, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. The next destination will blow your mind even more. Thanks for watching.